What's going on, everybody? My name is Athieno, and today we're going to be looking over my display settings and all over my, graphics. People on stream always ask, what colors do I use, brightness, best sensitivity, people that recently switch over to PC, they try my settings and they say it works for them. So this is kind of answer a lot of the questions, and this kind of have a video for it. So let's just start with general. So we start at general, open to friends. This kind of, if you ever find yourself not able to invite people sometimes, then turn it to invite only and then turn it back onto open friends, and you should be able to invite people like on your friends list over Uplay app. And ping is on, display metrics. I personally, this is like FPS. I have this off. I don't really care too much about my FPS, like seeing how much I have, as long as I feel good about it. Cycle inside cameras, I have this off. Drone after prep. This is basically, I believe, when the prep phase ends and then you want to keep droning. I just have mine on manual, so that way I have to physically press 5 to get off my drone. My match replays are on. My text channel, I have this off. Personally, I don't really believe in arguing on like all chat and like this, especially when I'm streaming. A lot of people like to just be idiots and all chat. I have that off. Crossplay, this is just kind of just, it doesn't really do anything. Crossplay communication, this is just for it's not like console and PC, but it's like Stadia. I don't really pay attention to it. But my matchmaking preferences, so if you ever want to warm up, you can either do elimination. Elimination is when there's only like 20 terrorists to shoot. But when you have disarm bomb on, this gives you 2 bomb sites where it's like a normal ranked. Personally, if you want to warm up more, I recommend having disarm bomb. But if you want to just like get, decent aim and warm up lightly, I do elimination. I personally, I don't do headshot only. It feels very weird when I like shoot someone in the body and it doesn't like hit them, and it makes me feel different. I'm still going for headshots though. It really depends on what I'm feeling for the T-Hunt maps. I would recommend that you guys choose a lot of different maps. That way you, especially off maps. I used to only do house, but when I only do house, I don't have like pre-aim and pre-fire. I know where all the people are, which doesn't really help me practice like my raw aiming and warming up. But T-Hunt is kind of like all for a different type of video. So moving on to HUD, I have mine on custom. So I was actually doing a thumbnail, so I have a lot of these off, but I actually have everything on. I don't really turn anything off. The only times I think to turn anything off is maybe like nameplates, name tags, things like that. Personally, I think having all of them on, this is all personal preference. There's no like, oh, you can see enemies better if you have this on. No, it's just, if you want to see scoring on, you can have scoring on, but it's really your preference. I would go through some of these and test some of them out for you. Next up, we have audio. I just have English. Subtitles I have off at the little text at the bottom where my mouse normally is. I don't really need to see like reloading or anything like that. Music volume, I have that all the way off. I have my own music to listen to. Dialogue volume, this is like loading new mag, or like surge incoming, like stuff like that. I have that off. I don't really need to hear. I need to hear my teammates better than the in-game people. So night mode. So like my audio, I have it on night mode. So to kind of get it out of the way for you guys, I think on default you guys are on hi-fi. Hi-fi. This is basically, think about it like this. This is what it makes gunshots and explosions louder, but it doesn't really make footsteps louder. It's mostly enhancing things that become loud. So if someone's walking next to you, obviously you're going to hear them loud. But if they're a little bit further away from you, you're going to hear gunshots and explosions a lot louder. It's going to enhance that for you. TV, do not put on TV. Like most of you play on a monitor. Unless you actually are playing on TV. I personally just wouldn't use this at all. I just think TV is a poor choice. Night mode though, I highly recommend everybody uses night mode. It really depends on what headphones or earbuds you're using. I don't really know too much about that, but for me personally, I use night mode because this makes it so things are basically all like the same volume almost. So gunshots become a little bit more quieter, but footsteps are a little bit louder. This kind of makes quieter things louder, and louder things a little bit, you know, more condensed to the same. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. I might be wrong on that, but that's personally what I use, and it's been working out for me ever since. And if you guys want to wonder, like, oh, I see you use your earbuds. I use Bose SoundSport earbuds. They're very similar to what the pros use, the Bose XQC20s. I could link them down for you guys in the video, but I don't think they sell them anymore, so I don't know if they're still in stock. But they're very similar to the XQ20s. They're a little bit pricey, but I've had them for like almost ever since I came onto the PC. So I would experiment to maybe invest into a good one that you don't have to keep buying them. Headsets are fine, but that's into another video. Mute voice chat volume. I have this, I don't know why it's at 0, but I normally have this around 75 because some people can be loud. Mute on unfocused. This is like push to talk. I have it off. Yeah, push to talk's here. Voice record. This is basically how you sound in game, how loud you are in game. So if your mic's really loud, turn some of these down. But if you're really quiet, turn these up all the way. I had a bug where I just cannot talk in game. I've been dealing with it on and off this season. I hope they fix it a little bit, but I've been dealing a little bit with that too. So moving on to display, I have just my monitor. I have 1920 by 1080p. People always ask, like, would you rather use 1920 by 1080p 240 hertz or 1440 144 hertz? I personally think 1920 by 1080 is good, especially for video games. I don't think it's necessary to use anything more than that. That's more for like 4K and stuff like that, but I want to prioritize frames, so 240 is good enough for me. I'm on full screen. I use like a lot. So raspberry issues, I've gone through every single one that you see me going through, except for, you know, 21 by 9 and 5 by 4, because those are very ugly. But I personally like go through like the middle right here, around like 16 by 10 to 4 by 3 at times. Right now I'm using 3 by 2. It's all personal preference though. Like, I'm being dead serious. There is no best resolution in this game. You just really need to use what's comfortable for you. You don't have to pick one and stick it forever. You just need to use what's comfortable for you. It could change like month for month. But don't think that's gonna hurt your consistency, because consistency eventually is gonna build where you can play on any resolution. But that's why you should use what's comfortable for you. VSync I have off. FPS limit, I have that off. I don't feel like I need to cap at, like, I don't need a cap, especially I can't even go to 240 because I'm using on 240. Also, like, people ask, like, should I get a 240 hertz monitor for console? The answer is no, because you're overkilling it. If console can only provide you 60 FPS, you're only going to see 60 FPS even with a 240 hertz monitor. That's just how it works. But if, let's say, you're getting about to like 175 to 200 FPS, I recommend us investing into a 240, because it's only like $100 more than a 144. It's definitely worth the long run. I use 90 FOV because I'm on PC and it just looks really good. If you use stretch resolution, you can use like 83, 84, you know, anything besides 90, you know, just to make people seem slower. I use 80% HUD. I turn it all the way down. It doesn't look, it used to be really bad, but they fixed it where it looks a little bit better now. It's a little bit bigger on your screen. So I like to use 80 because normally when I'm focused on the center of my screen, especially when using stretch resolution, I don't have to adjust my eyes too much, and I can really just the distance of travel to look at like my health kill feed is really short, and this looks really good. Menu display, this is not that big of a deal. It's just like you see, like if I put on 90, like my menu is just gonna look a little bit smaller. Like I personally actually want this a little bit larger. I think 95 is perfect. But yeah, just mess around with it. My brightness is 60, but on my stream and maybe some of my videos, I might have like a small filter, which I'll show you guys in after these siege settings. Then next up we have graphics. I have a 3070 Ti. I recently just upgraded. My older PC became my streaming PC. So right now I'm on my texture quality is medium, linear. You know, you guys can just go through this yourselves. But yeah, I really don't think I need to go like past where I'm at right now, because the game actually looks fine. If anything, I get more frames when I use lower quality, and I've been so used to lower quality and turning all of these off. The only thing I would think about is the, where is it, bloom? I forgot which one it is, but it's the one that makes like your charms look good, but your FPS kind of tanks. But I don't know where bloom is. I think it's lens effect. I don't know which one it is. I just have these on 100. I haven't seen no problem with these. So yeah, this is what settings I use. Like I said, guys, you can use like medium and low. It will still look good because you'll get good frames, and it doesn't make a big of a difference. But one thing I want to stress is shadows. You always want to have shadows at least on medium. For example, on Clubhouse, if you're playing Garage, right, and you're looking outside the garage door, you can see people's shadow. But if you have those on low, you might not, and it could cost you a lot of rounds. But that kind of comes down to the HUD. When people, I forgot to mention this earlier, but people were like, "Oh, what if I down someone?" This is a while ago, but the injure points are not even in the game anymore. But like, oh, what if I injure someone and I never know that? It's a very rare situation for you to down somebody and not finish them. The chances of you like chances of you like not benefiting from that is very low. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. This is the same exact thing for the shadows. You can still play with them, but I recommend having them on. Raw input, we're going into controls. I have that off. I just have it. I've always been having it off. I don't have a specific reason for it. I'm on 66. My DPI is 800. I'm on the Kickstarter multiplier as well, which is basically 0.002. That's what it is. You guys can look it up on YouTube as well. I use the advanced ADS. My standard ADS is on 29, and then going down from there it's 46, 70. It could change, but as videos goes on, I might be changing it here and there. But this is kind of like a general. I like having my ADS like almost equivalent to my hipfire, maybe even a little bit lower. Just this is my personal preference. If you want to do a 1-to-1, I've done it before, but it took a lot of calculations. If you really want to invest in it, I'm sure there's ways you can find it. But there's a formula you have to do for it. Your settings. It doesn't take too long, but it's kind of a pain to deal with. Mouse scroll, I don't use that. Gadget deployment, this is advanced. So basically, this is like if you were to pull out a Jaeger device. If you have this, I think if you have this standard, if you just press it on the floor, you will automatically place it, and you can't stop. You can't stop placing it, or like a thermite charge, for example. But if you have advanced, then you can kind of like take it on, take it off. You know, hold down on it. Drone deployment. This is basically where I throw the drone at the floor and I don't get on cams immediately. This is good for baiting people. I just have that advanced, that way I can do that. Aim, I have hold, lean, toggle, sprint, hold, crouch, toggle, prone, toggle, walk is hold. Going to here, my keybinds, scoreboards, tab, you know, you guys can look through them. I personally would recommend making text chat somewhere very far off your keyboard. That way you don't accidentally fat finger it and you get you killed. Push to talk C. Mine's pretty default. I lean with Q and E. Sprint is just sprint is shift. Crouch, and my crouch button is actually on my mouse button. A lot of people ask me, oh, is it okay to lean with mouse button, spacebar? Guys, personal preference. If you're comfortable with it, that's all that matters, because you're the one that's playing. It doesn't matter if Bolo leans with numbers. I don't know, but I know his teammate Geometrics on TSM, which is a cool guy. He leans with mouse buttons, I believe. So that just shows you that you can lean with anything, as long as you're comfortable with it. Don't listen to anybody else if they're just trying to, you know, make you fit in or different. My prone is Alt. my, I think my Pronos Alt. I even know, what do I use control for? I don't really remember what I use control for. Oh, control is my, like, by barbed wire. And like my secondary gadget. My melee attack is V. Interact is just F. You know, my cameras are the default. But yeah. If I want, I use my primary gadget on either 4 or mouse button. My ping is Y. You guys might ask me why. Why is my button like so far off? I used to play Fortnite, and my edit button used to be Y, because I remember watching like a guy named Mr. Savage M, which is, you guys might know him, but he used to edit with that. And back in I wanted to try that. I was like, oh sure, I'll try it, and that's why I kind of just kept the muscle memory of Y. These are controller. I don't use controller. Privacy. I personally stream, so I have all these off that people can, you know, stream snipe me too much, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Accessibility, this is where like my crosshair, my optic color is light green at 60%. These are, you know, you can use whatever you want. I like orange because I always feel comfortable when I'm defending first, so having orange all the time makes me feel good. Chat scale, I just have it at 79. Like I said, like I really do not like, I don't like all chat unless I'm going up against someone I like or I know. It's just a waste of mental and immaturity, in my opinion. But this is my take. I don't care if anyone else does it though. But yeah, those are my in-game siege settings. So I want to actually show you guys my my like display settings, because people always ask like my colors, stuff like that. So on my stream, on my Elgato, I have a very slight saturation, a color boost, and a very slight brightness boost, because Siege can be a dark game at times. So, oops. Okay, let's go to the... If I go to the control panel, it really depends on what you guys have on your PC, but find a way to get into your GPU or your display. Most likely your control panel like this, in the video control panel. And then I just go to adjust desktop color settings. My brightness and contrast is just literally up by 5%. The default was like 50-50. Gamma is like, you know, I have these, like I've moved these by a hair. Digital vibrance is up by 10 more percent. What else? I think down here where my cursor is, video color settings. Saturation up 50%. Everything else is the same. But yeah, I really didn't do much to it. I just added a little bit. But after that, that is basically it for all of my graphic settings. If you guys want to see another video of my setup, updated setup tour of like my monitor, my PC, my keyboard, if we can hit 400 likes on this video, I will release that video sometime soon, maybe next week or this week, it depends. I also have the major coming up. I plan on vlogging the major. IRL videos, I've kind of been stopping them for a little bit, but I'm really excited to bring it back for the major. I think there's going to be a lot of good memories captured there. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video if it did help you out. Let me know if I explained any of these settings wrong, but I've been using these for a while and it's highly requested from you guys. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next stream, TikTok, or video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.